Let's address the elephant in the room first. You do not need to track calories or macros to lose weight. In fact, I've lost 110 pounds over a 17-year period, and I never tracked a calorie or a macro in my life. I used a scale, a mirror, trial and error, and a lot of determination to lose my weight. The only thing you need to do to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit. There are lots of ways to do that, and tracking calories just happens to be one of those ways. Still, I was really curious to see what tracking calories could do for me, and I'm really excited to share my results with you right now. I happen to use the MyFitnessPal app to track my calories and macros. You could do it by hand, you could do it using an Excel spreadsheet, but quite frankly, this is faster and way easier to get the job done. There's a free version that you can use to track just your calories, and you can do a paid version where you can get your macros as well. And quite frankly, the free version is good enough, at least if you're getting started. To do this right, I needed to know my numbers. And by numbers, I'm talking specifically about maintenance calories. That's the amount of calories a person needs to eat per day to not gain weight and not lose weight, but just to stay the same. And I calculated my maintenance calories to be 2,960 calories per day. It sounds like a lot, but I'm a pretty tall guy, I'm a pretty big guy, and during the month of January, I was planning on being quite active, so it makes a lot of sense that I would need to eat a lot more calories. There are essentially three ways that you can find your maintenance calories. One, you can calculate it out by hand using complicated formulas. Two, you can go online and use a free calorie calculator estimator, or you could use the MyFitnessPal calorie calculator estimator app. I happen to calculate mine using all three. All three numbers came out to be just about the same, and I decided to use the MyFitnessPal one just to keep it simple and easy for me. I got my maintenance calories. Now I set my weight loss goal at a very manageable 1.1 pounds per week. That's enough that I can get consistent weight loss while not feeling energy deprived or hungry, and still hopefully having enough nutrients and energy to do all of my training and workouts and get stronger and bigger and more muscular in conjunction with losing some fat. To lose 1.1 pounds per week, I would need to be in approximately a 550 calorie per day deficit. That means that on average, I would need to be eating 2,410 calories. As for my protein, I was hoping to get about 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, not pound of body weight, but kilogram of body weight, and that would have put me at about 130 grams of protein per day. But when I was playing with MyFitnessPal, I decided to set that goal a little higher, and I set it at 151 grams, just to see how difficult it would be to get so many grams of protein in on a daily basis. I've never done it before, but I figured why not? Let's give it a try as a little extra personal challenge to myself. With this calorie deficit planned in MyFitnessPal, and with the month of January having 31 days in it, that means that I had an expected weight loss at the end of the month of about 4.9 pounds or 2.2 kilograms. Let's see how close I came. How accurate was I? Well, over the course of the entire month, I was allowed to have 74,710 calories, and I ended up eating 74,709 calories. So I ate exactly the amount of food that I was supposed to be eating to lose 4.9 pounds. As for the protein, I was supposed to get on average 151 grams of protein per day, and I got that up to about 164 grams of protein on average per day. So I also knocked that out of the park. Did my weight loss reflect the accuracy of this data? Well, by the end of the month, I ended up losing 3.3 pounds or 1.5 kilograms. That means that my weight loss was off by 1.6 pounds or about 0.7 kilograms. So I did lose some weight, but it wasn't as much as MyFitnessPal predicted that it would be. I weighed myself every day while I was doing this, and here's a graph of how my weight changed over the course of the month. As you can see, it is not a straight line down. In fact, it is not linear at all. It goes down, it goes up, it stays the same for a couple of days, it goes up, it goes down. It's all over the place. But on average, over time, my weight did continue to drop, and the trend line is going down, which is good. Earlier in this video, I mentioned that I was going to be doing a lot more physical activity this month. Well, in addition to my tracking calorie and protein challenge, I was congruently focusing on my pull-ups. And over the course of the entire month, my pull-ups increased from 5 to 7, which means not only did I lose weight, but I also got stronger. And of course, you can learn more about that entire challenge by checking out this video here, or by going to my video page and looking for it in all of the other videos that I've made. At the end of the day, I'm pretty stoked with these results, and if you are too, I'd love for you to hit the like button and support my channel. So why didn't my estimated weight loss and my actual weight loss match up perfectly? Well, Tracking calories is not a perfect science. In fact, it's a game of estimating. When I calculated my maintenance calories, it was an estimate. When I put in the amount of exercise that I anticipated doing for the course of the month, and when I tracked that over the course of the month as well, it was an estimate. And fitness trackers like this, Fitbits, etc., are notoriously not accurate. And even differences of 100 calories here and 100 calories there can add up to a big difference over the course of the entire month. Additionally, there could be mismeasurements while weighing food. There could be mismeasurements in the amount of calories that are actually on the food labels and in the food that we eat. In fact, food labels are allowed to be wrong up or down by about 20-25%, which means something that says that it's 400 calories could actually be 300 calories, or it could be 500 calories. I can't really control that, but I can estimate it. On top of that, there could also be miscalculations in the scale, the actual weight that I'm doing. On top of all of that, other factors such as stress, water retention, and even the types of food that you're eating could cause your weight to fluctuate up and down a little bit. And maybe it just so happens that on my final weigh-in day, it didn't reflect what my true weight loss was. All of these things are possible. The good news is I still did lose some weight, I'm still going on the right track, and I can take all of this additional information and use that moving forward to perhaps adjust my calories down, which would be a better representation of either what my actual maintenance needs are, or perhaps a reflection of what my actual physical output is. After a full month of tracking calories and protein, here's a few pros that I definitely picked up on. First, it didn't take a lot of time. I think one of the things that people are worried about is that tracking calories is going to be really time consuming. Quite honestly, it wasn't. The second is that it's not actually restrictive at all. In fact, diets like low carb and low fat are incredibly restrictive because they're eliminating, or at least heavily removing, entire food groups, macronutrient groups from a diet. With calorie counting, I can literally eat whatever I want so long as I am within my calorie range. Now, this doesn't necessarily take into consideration health. I could eat French fries all day long, and as long as I hit my calorie goals, I would lose weight. Health is a different story. But there is no restrictions, and if I feel like eating a slice of pizza or having a non-alcoholic beer, I can. A third pro is that rather than being boring, I actually found the challenge of constructing my food each day to be really enjoyable. Every day was different types of foods, and I had to find ways to make it fit within the balance of a healthy diet. I was also able to juggle some days were a little bit less food, and then some cheat days were a lot more food, but fitting it all together over the course of a month was kind of like a game of Tetris, and I enjoyed the puzzle aspect of it. A fourth pro is that I found that my eating became much more intentional. Every bite that I took, I knew was within the confines of a healthy diet, and I knew that that was the food that I was going to be eating that day, which meant that I really appreciated it and enjoyed the taste of it a hell of a lot more than I would when I would just be mindlessly eating bags of potato chips or slice after slice of pizza. And the last is that when I did snack and have some potato chips or a brownie or whatever, I was able to enjoy it 100% without feeling any guilt whatsoever because I knew that it fit within the confines of my new healthy tracked calorie diet. With the good comes the bad, and I certainly experienced a challenge or two along the way. The first one being that I would occasionally scan something with my FitnessPal and it would not be in the system, or the units in the data was all wrong. It didn't happen very often, but when it did, it was a little annoying, and I did have to do some independent research to find the equivalent calorie and protein counts. The second thing I have to admit is that we live in a world right now where social engagements are severely restricted and limited, meaning a lot of the temptations that you would normally find, going out to restaurants, having a few drinks with friends, meeting up with family and friends, and having cookies and cakes and sweets, I couldn't really do that this month, which meant it was really easy to track my calories because I cooked them all here at home and I had a level of control that had unparalleled in the history of my life anyway. It's still certainly possible to track your calories while going out. In fact, restaurants even have inputted a lot of their menus straight into MyFitnessPal to make it really easy and convenient to track your calories. But still, I wasn't able to do that this month, so I can't really comment on it. I'm definitely curious, though, to see how that's going to turn out in the months to come as I can continue to track my calories. And with that in mind, I've continued to track my calories into February 2021. And I gotta say, without giving too much away, that things are still progressing very nicely. And I encourage you to hit the subscribe button so that you can follow my progress and see how this calorie tracking experiment, challenge, whatever you want to call it, continues to work out. Thanks for watching this video. As always, I wish you guys all the best as you continue to become the people that you wish to be.